Yay, we are back. We are back.
Woo!
What's up, everybody? I'm Kim Osorio with another episode of the Trigger Warning Podcast. And of course, I'm here with my host, as I am every time, Torrez.
Hey, I feel so overwhelmed today.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
It's
been one of those days, right?
It's definitely been one of those days. It's a woosah day. It's a woosah day. I came in from my hecticness. You're on a million calls, which I was ear hustling, and it sounds like Summer Jam stuff.
I'm on a million calls. First of all, let me just tell you how my day started.
Oh gosh.
My son is on a mission to save money for his new e-bike that he wants to buy. So it started with him selling his old e-bike, and then he started selling off his old sneakers that he can no longer fit. Then it went to selling off his Amiri clothes that he outgrew.
Oh.
Then today, he was like, Mom, I need you to take my piggy bank, which he has like one of those water bottle jugs, the huge one, full of coins that he's been collecting for 2 years. He's like, Mom, I need it because the guy I'm buying the bike from is coming today, and I need you to go take this to the coin machine. I'm like, where do I find a coin machine? Because most banks have taken it out.
Right.
But I found one at a grocery store next to my house. Kim, I lug, this thing is, first of all, it's heavy as I don't know what. I lug it, I put it on like a little cart from my house. I get it in a car. I go to the place, get it out my car, it rolls and crashes everywhere. The jar breaks and all the change hits the concrete.
Right.
And I just want to cry at this point. So I'm hot, I'm breaking out in a sweat. I'm like on the phone with my sister trying to plan her baby shower, and then I'm just like, I got to hang up right now. I just want to cry.
It's just everything is just.
I'm like scooping up. So finally, like people come over and they're like, "Oh my God, it looks so
I love
terrible."
that. You know what I love about this conversation? I love this conversation because both of us have a lot going on, and both of us have these like crazy careers, and we're juggling multiple things. But we come in here at Trigger Warning, and like our connection is like, so my son. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like no matter what we deal with or what we go through, like both of our sons, and my daughters will kill me for saying this, are like the center of our universe.
Yes.
And so like everything else, it doesn't even matter. But your son is like the center of your universe.
Now, mind you, I'm trying to do my radio show. I'm trying to do my conference calls. And here I am taking an hour. I have to put my earbuds in because I'm trying to do my conference show, listen to my producer, trying to do everything I want while scooping up change. Hundreds of quarters and nickels and dimes and pennies. And it takes me an hour to scoop up all this change.
Well,
it was $600 worth of change.
First of all, that's awesome because there's just change laying. Do you guys still have change? There's just change laying all over my house. I probably have money. The money I need right now, it's probably in the change in my house. But I've had like a super crazy 7 days. A lot has happened. A lot has changed in just 7 days.
I see you in here with luggage. I'm like, what is going on?
Girl, this is an off-camera conversation. But last night, I want to get into this. I got to get into this as a New Yorker, BronxNet. I have to. Last night, I was like, I am staying home to watch the playoff game with Corey because that's our thing. And we are huge Knicks fans. Shout out to the Knicks for what they're doing right now. We're in the middle of this playoff series with the Celtics. I know you're watching the games.
I'm watching it. So
it's so wonderful.
I love that. That's our connection too. Like we're basketball moms all day, and both of our sons play basketball.
Yeah.
Last night, so AAU season has officially begun.
I'm still in the season.
I'm still in basketball season. I gotta tell you, like my schedule is crazy with traveling. But let me tell you, last night, to your point, we had a game in East New York.
Right.
Brooklyn, East New York. This is where we was at last night. We pull up to the game. These dudes are smoking blunts on the school steps.
Right.
I was so upset.
Wow.
at these grown men. So we get inside the school. Not only do they have to go through the metal detectors, but they also have to get patted down before they go to play this game. Then one of the teammates, because I was the carpool driver last night, he starts pulling out his iPads, doing his homework and stuff like that. I'm like, tuck it.
Right.
I'm like, yo, like you just gotta be mindful of where you at. But I was so upset at these grown men just rolling blunts. And I don't know if we could say it on BronxNet, so I'm trying to be as politically correct.
Yes.
As these kids are trying to do something with their lives as simple as playing basketball.
Right.
And here you are drinking, rolling blunts on the school steps.
Yeah.
As they're walking in to play a game. I'm just like, y'all don't have nothing better to do with your lives. And I know we're in East New York. I know we in Brooklyn. But that's not the kicker. The game happens. It's going down. Mm-hmm. We're up by 11. The first quarter. They start coming back. The coach on the other team comes to the parents, starts throwing money on the court, and was like, my team, I put my money. I'm like, bro, go coach your team.
Yeah, that's weird.
He's just talking mad trash, and I'm just like, and I know we're in East New York, so I'm trying to still be conscious of where I'm at.
Don't forget where you are at, okay?
Right. But in my head, I'm just like, what kind of example are we setting as adults to be acting like this at a AAU basketball game? And then I'm just like, then my heart starts feeling for the kids that actually live in the neighborhood and attend that school. And I say this to say, you got to do better, parents. You have to do better. I don't care where you at in your life or where you live at, in the suburbs, in the hood, or whatever. Grown men need to do better and be better examples to these kids. These kids are playing sports. They're doing something with their idle time. And they don't need to be walking into a place like this. It's just my opinion. I know where I'm at. I know where I signed up for. But the mom in me came out last night, Kim, and I was just like, go coach your team, bro.
Right.
Don't worry about us. Go coach your team.
Right.
So I say that to say, that happened to me last night, but then the joy happened when I went home and saw the Knicks.
The Knicks. How many times? I want to clap for them so much. The way they came back in both games in that fourth quarter.
Down 20-point deficit.
Listen.
Came back. But we got to give it up to Mikal Bridges. Because
oh, my God.
His defense plays is really what kept them in the game on both ends of the ball.
You know what? So I love the memes that I've been seeing on Instagram. They had one last night, and it said it was a Mikal Bridges apology form, and it was like, fill this out. So apologize to Mikal Bridges for all the stuff people were talking about him online, because you know. He's been, you know, whatever, he have a game here and there. And they were kind of killing him online for a little while. So I thought that was hilarious. That it was like, you better apologize to Mikal Bridges.
But you know what I've been doing?
That block
was amazing.
That Jason Tatum block was
amazing.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. But what I've been doing is talking so much crap about the Knicks because I figured it out. The most crap I talk about them, they start to win games. So I start like being like, they ain't gonna win, so that they can win. It's my way of psyching myself out. So me and my husband, huge Knicks fans.
Right.
Our son is a huge Warrior fan.
Oh, I love the Warriors though.
He loves Steph Curry.
They're doing great too.
But so that I was gonna go to that. Both of those teams,
they're doing great.
Have managed to pull out W's.
Yep.
And what's crazy about the Warriors is Steph Curry was injured in that last game.
I know.
And they still were able to pull off the W.
Yeah, listen, sometimes, I'm telling you, sometimes being an underdog, right, or like...
It riles you up, right?
It does, and it kind of, it's really inspiring, I think, even for our sons to watch, right, and for their fans to watch, because one of my favorite, I look at all the memes on Instagram, guys. One of my favorite memes is the one that has Jalen Brunson in the back looking at ankles, and it says every time Jalen Brunson goes to the locker room. And it's just Jalen Brunson with rows of ankles. He's just switching his ankles out, because you think he goes down and is injured and comes back stronger than before.
And you know what's so interesting about him? And I listen to his podcast a lot.
I love that podcast, the Roommates podcast.
Yeah, he has a really cool podcast.
Yeah.
But he talks about how important it is as an athlete, as a hooper, to make sure your footwork.
Yes.
You focus on your footwork.
His footwork's incredible.
His footwork is incredible.
He's great. And
especially when you are not a tall player.
Yes.
It's very important to work on your skills. Like my son is pretty tall for his age, but he's not going to be 6'8", 6'7". He might get to 6'1".
Right.
6'2" the most. Most of his family, like my husband is 6 feet, but like my brother-in-law is 6'1". His first cousin is like 6'2", 6'3".
So that's about the height you think he's going to average out.
Yeah. He's at 5'7" now, and he hasn't hit the puberty mark. He's like 11 foot, 11 and a half. So he's got room to grow.
How old is he?
He just turned 14.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, he's got room to grow. And so the thing that we focus on the most, as a basketball mom, and obviously you're a basketball mom, you can relate, is we focus a lot on his skills, right? His shooting form, his footwork, his speed work, his dribble, especially if he wants to compete on the next level, which is the college level or the collegiate level.
I think we're speaking right now. We're just speaking to all the moms out there. We're speaking to all the moms out there that really are bringing their boys up. But there's a lot of things I don't want to spend too much time on this because I know we can go on forever. And we have a lot to cover.
We have a lot.
There's a lot of things that basketball and extracurricular can do for your kids, especially when you're coming from certain inner city environments. And it's been that for my son. And that's why I'm happy about the Knicks, because he's a huge Knicks fan, especially Jalen Brunson being left-handed, because my son is left-handed.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, watching his skill. That's his guy on the Knicks. So
yeah, and I think as a mom too, you have to be realistic, right? Like, I think for me, I don't put that much emphasis on, oh, you're going to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
I put the emphasis more so on structure, leadership, community, and character building.
Yeah,
that's 100%. What I look at sports as.
And that's what it does. It's so good for them.
Yeah,
it's
not
so
like I want my son to ball to get out the hood.
But he could go to the NBA too if it works.
Yeah, if it works.
Work hard,
yes.
Because I've been trying to get these playoff tickets, and
they're so expensive.
Anyway, let's move on.
So let's move on. Let's get into our Let's Talk segment.
Okay.
Puff's trial has begun. Okay. So let me just give you guys a status update.
Please, because I actually need the status update, believe it or not.
Let me give you so here's the latest on Sean Diddy Combs and his ongoing federal case. Currently, it is one of the most high-profile legal stories in entertainment and culture. Now, Combs is facing serious federal charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution, okay? Prosecutors allege he operated his businesses as a criminal enterprise involving abuse, coercion, and misconduct.
Right.
Now, he has been held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since his arrest in September 2024. Jury selection began on May 5th. In Manhattan Federal Court. Opening statements are expected to begin on May 12th. Now, jury selection has already faced challenges due to this high-profile
I love
case.
This update so much, but I am so waiting for you to get to the part I want you to get to. Go ahead.
With potential jurors being dismissed for bias, other key evidence will be included in Puffy's case. Prosecution are allegedly are bringing in his ex-partners like Cassie to be one of the people expected to testify in the case. Yep. Witnesses, also key witnesses known as Victim 3, may testify in the case as well. He's updated his legal team.
Right.
Okay, so let me give you an update status on that. So one of the guys is Mark Angavillo. He's a veteran federal defense attorney.
Agnifilo.
Yeah.
He's been on his case though.
Taney Garages. I'm going to butcher these names.
Yeah.
Brian Steele, known for the Young Thug case. He also added his first female to his case. This happened recently. He added a black female attorney with federal defense experience to his case. So he has like a team of like one,
I keep
2,
hearing
3,
about,
4, 5, 6.
Oh yeah, there's a team there, and I keep hearing about people coming on. I think even one attorney that I'm familiar with.
So let me just give you guys additional context. So since November 2023, over 70 civil lawsuits have been filed against Puff.
That's insane. When I think about the fact that you have 70 lawsuits against you, civil lawsuits, like to me, that's just, I mean, obviously, I'm not legitimizing everyone because I think we know that some of them are a little fugazi, but 70 is crazy.
I love our producer, and I printed this out myself, but to our producer, make sure when you print our notes, the ink is all the way through. Look, it's like, what does this
you
say?
Can't even read it. But you know what? I'm gonna jump the gun. I want to jump the gun. So the thing that I am like trying to figure out, because we all want to know who's testifying, right?
Oh, so I got an update on that. Yeah,
okay.
I'll put that on there. So yes, it has been confirmed through the prosecution that Cassie will testify.
Right.
And victim number 3, which they're not saying anonymous. But then updated, the prosecution informed the judge that they're having issues with witnesses coming forward because they're either not returning the calls or the emails.
Right.
So some witnesses are dropping out of testifying in the case.
Okay.
So they're asking for more time to revisit some of the witnesses.
So we're not even there yet. So jury selection has started. But here's the thing.
And shout out to Lisa Evers, who's been in court every day.
Yes, good for her.
Every day.
Shout out to Lisa
She's been
Evers.
giving me like the inside updates.
That's good. But so one of the things they do in jury selection, right, to make sure that, you know, of course they're trying to put together this unbiased jury. It's going to be hard. People know about this case. But one of the things is they often ask the potential jurors about people, maybe high-profile names, to see if there would be any bias there. And some of the names that have come up, I saw online, and I was like, what does it all mean? I believe it was like Kanye West. I believe it was Michael B. Jordan, right? Like these are names that were brought up in the room. Now, that means nothing as far as I'm concerned, because maybe they were just asking, you know, are you a fan of this person? Because maybe the name will get mentioned. And I don't know. But what we've all been waiting to hear is who's on the tapes.
Yeah.
So when we hear other celebrity names, and I don't know who else it was, but I know there were a few, like, you know, and I was like, ooh. What does it all mean? Like there were, did you see that part?
Yeah, I did see that part, and that's why, you know, I don't want to speculate why they ask those questions, because it could be twofold, right? It could be to test whether or not they will be fanned out, right? Because I think one of the reasons why they got him looking crazy, Puff. Because if you see how he's looking, he's all gray. Right. He's not well groomed.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what?
Because they denied him hair dye, having to be able to dye the grays and stuff like that. And I believe that's strategy, in my opinion.
I think it's strategy
that's
too.
to kind of make him look humanized, not well groomed, that everybody is used to seeing him, change his whole image up. Because we're used to seeing him look a certain way.
Absolutely.
Very manicured, very regal. We're used to seeing him in a different light. Now, even my mom said to me, why they got Puff looking like that on TV?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
And
I was
think
like,
it's on
okay.
purpose.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think them asking these questions, are you a fan of Kanye West? Are you a fan of Michael B. Jordan? Are you a fan of this person? Maybe they will be brought up in the case, but also maybe as a strategy to check the temperature on, are you a groupie or not? Are you a fan? But listen, if I was Puff's attorneys, I would definitely have that jury packed with Gen Z and black folks.
Well,
like Johnny
we shall
Cochran
see.
had.
We shall see.
Like Cochran had with OJ.
I'm here. I'm here for it. You know, a little update on the case there. I think we're all kind of been talking about it. We've just been waiting to see it play out. What do they got?
It's just so much.
The question is, what do they got?
Because it's so much they expose to the media. It's just like, what's true, what's not true.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, like, he could really go to jail for life, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Insane.
And then I hear people call me and be like, no, Puff's going to get off. I'm like, I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know what they have. I don't know what they have. And until we see this play out in court, it's very hard to figure out what they have. I'm waiting, like the tapes. I keep hearing about who's on the tapes, who's on the tapes. I'm like, I don't know who's on the tapes.
Because they did seize a lot of tapes in his home. You know, that was a big thing, you know, along with the baby oil thing, you know?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say because I'm looking at it like every time I say something, it's like, especially, it's such a sensitive matter. So I'm waiting just like everyone else.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so I couldn't wait to talk about this case. Shannon Sharpe is facing a $50 million lawsuit from a 20-something-year-old OnlyFans model who filed a lawsuit in Nevada using Tony Bugsby as her lawyer.
Yep. Y'all favorite lawyer, Tony Bugsby.
Your favorite lawyer is back in the headlines. She's accusing him of sexually assaulting her twice. Sharing intimate videos without consent and causing emotional distress during their relationship. Shannon Sharpe obviously has denied these allegations, calling them a shakedown and claiming the relationship was consensual.
I don't even care.
He's also counter-suing.
I don't even care. We got to go over. We got to finish this report.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Wait.
He's also consensual.
I know.
I don't even care.
I'm gonna get there. He's also countersuing for defamation. And he released his own explicit text messages between the two. That's how we found out who she was. In a separate case, his ex-girlfriend, Michelle Evans, is also suing Sharpe for defamation after previously accusing him of a 2010 assault. Sharpe has temporarily stepped away from ESPN, First Take. But speaking of the ex-girlfriend, she later dropped that, saying that, you know, it wasn't, the headache and aggravation of it. Here, I
you already know what I'm going to say because it's ridiculous. Like, it came out and everybody was like, oh, it's Tony Bugsby. They don't believe it's a money grab, whatever. So I'm reading because, you know, that's what I do. I'm digging. I said, wait a minute. How old was this girl? You are 50-something years old. There's no way. I don't care if it was consensual. My daughter is 18. So you can't tell me that a 53-year-old man, she can be consent. No. I don't know. Like, the argument about consent is very delicate, and it's very dear to my heart, especially when it comes to someone of that age.
It's such a rookie move, too. Like, you're Shannon Sharpe. You are worth this amount of money. You're a 50-something-year-old man.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't. So, what do you have in common?
For me, I hear about all the allegations and the lawsuits and what could she be possibly, you know, getting out of it, and she's an OnlyFans. I hear all that, but to me, for him to be an established person, who he is, you gotta have certain standards.
You gotta have some accountability.
And accountability. And listen, we all make mistakes, right? Like, we all make mistakes. You know, you make choices in life. Maybe they're not the best, but that's crazy. I don't care.
That's something.
So that's a different level.
That's something that you don't expect a man of his age and a man of his caliber to be caught up in.
53 years old, if you're over 50, stop it. I know the rules about the women and consensual, stop it. Because you should have figured out, checked her ID or did whatever. Like,
but he knew, I mean,
he knew she was that age, right?
He knew
okay, so like, what are you doing with this little child? There's a child. Yeah. Also, because the government says she's legal, it's legal. Because I heard some people cover this story and say that, well, she's legal. That doesn't matter. She's 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, the government can decide whether it's legal to drink at 18 or 21 or whatever.
19 at the time. Let's just 19.
19 at the time.
Yeah, she was 19.
I got that wrong. She was 19 at the time. 19.
And you're a 50-something-year-old man. At some point, you need to be held accountable for that dumb ass
Yeah.
rookie move.
That's
There's
a child
nothing
to
you
me.
have in common with a 19-year-old other than sex.
Yeah, we could move on because he's disgusting to me for that. I don't care.
No,
Like,
I
don't
mean,
care.
I
Like,
agree with you. I just
disgusting.
feel like you need to be held accountable for making that dumb decision. Like, that's just stupid.
So all y'all need to stop running up on his podcast and like that. That to me is crazy because he's saying it was consensual, meaning I did something with this child.
He didn't deny it. He didn't
Right.
deny it at all. And his lawyer came out and said that, they offered to pay her $10 million
these
to
men
just
out here,
not, have her
no,
go public because he didn't want to ruin his
No.
reputation with some of his sexual
No.
desires.
Now, if it would be different if he said I made a mistake or she told me she was 30, I didn't know, whatever.
But he
But no, you knew she was 19.
And he knew that she
Stop.
was an OnlyFans model.
Yes.
He knew what type of chick she was.
Yes.
You put yourself in a very vulnerable situation out of stupidity and ego and whatever else fetish you have, and you need to take some accountability for that. That's dumb. You're Shannon Sharp. You're worth millions and millions of dollars. You built a very great career for yourself. Why are you letting your penis do
exactly. What's
your
the
thinking?
Let's make a new segment. What's a segment where we just step on somebody's head? Because that's crazy.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
thinking with
done.
with your penis,
Exactly.
and that's it at the end of the day.
And that's nasty. Stop. You're too old for that. You shouldn't have been. You're too old for that. You should have had enough, right? Like, come on, stop. That's giving big pervert.
That's giving like you need to grow up.
It's giving pervert.
Yeah, you need to grow up.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know you could get women, even 30-year-olds, which I still would look at a 30-year-old and be like, what you really got in common with her? But all right, she's 30.
Yeah.
Not 19.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so let's talk about Kanye West. He's back in the headlines. I don't really like talking about him because I feel like everything he does is for clout. But during a recent interview, he did an appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored, who I don't like to talk about either because he's such
what's
a clout
funny though?
chaser.
There was a reason why I wanted to talk about this particular story.
Okay, so let me just tell the story and then we can talk about it. So Kanye West abruptly walked off the interview after a heated exchange between him and Piers Morgan. So first it started with Piers Morgan referring to him as Kanye West instead of Ye, which he rejected, obviously. He says that West is a slave name. The situation escalated when Piers Morgan inaccurately stated Ye had 32 million followers on X, formerly known as Twitter, prompting Ye to correct him again and accusing Piers Morgan of downplaying his influence.
And the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because we're two women in media. And I feel like as two women in media, this is a good conversation to have because of the inaccuracy of him saying to Ye that he had a certain amount of followers and he was incorrect. And I believe Piers Morgan corrected himself after that, right? Like when you make mistakes in interviews, and it's okay. But was he justified in walking out? Like, how do you feel? But I do kind of see Ye's point. Not that throwing a tantrum and walking out is the right thing to do, but a lot of people are coming to their interviews unprepared, and that's what I wanted to have. That's why I wanted us to talk about this.
Well,
because a lot of people just coming on some
But see, a lot of people are now just doing these interviews just for a moment.
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing it because they care about journalism or have experience. If you're interviewing Kanye, at this point, you're just interviewing it for a moment. You want a moment like that.
You want him to walk out,
You
right,
want a moment for him to walk out. You're interviewing him in a Ku Klux Klan, black Ku Klux Klan outfit.
Was he wearing that again? God.
No, not for another interview I saw him do. Because you want that Kanye moment.
Yeah.
You want that viral moment. In my opinion, they all look stupid.
Yeah, but I do believe for him right now that it's not looking good when he does these things. I feel like it's over the top. I feel like people are tired of it. They want to be done with him in the media in a way where it feels like it's just media manipulation. And I think people are like, and you see people say, oh, he needs help, mental help. I don't know if we talked about the tweet that he put out there saying that he had performed oral sex on his cousin when he was younger. But I think that was the last straw for a lot of people with Kanye because, he's always said controversial things He's always gone for the moment, and it's part of the strategy of his media, right? And I worked with him. People know I worked with him, so they know I know. But I think when he got to like something of such a delicate nature, and he was just kind of throwing it out there, right? Like, you know, oh, and my cousin, it just
And
felt
his cousin is
very
currently in jail,
incarcerated.
Yeah.
It felt very performative on his part, right? And it's like that's deep. And if that is really true, and that was the question, people are like, is what he's saying true?
Then he needs
Right?
some help.
Then he needs some therapy behind it. He needs some help behind it. And, you know, is Twitter the right platform, or, you know, X?
So announce that.
Yeah, like, that, you know, you could have did it in a deeper interview, but just to like blurt it out, you know, in how many characters, like, and I suck my cousins. It comes off like insanity.
Yeah, it comes off like
performative, like
exactly
you're
what you
having,
said. Yeah, it comes off very performative.
And I didn't like when he talked about, and look, I knew his mother.
Yeah.
I knew his mother, you know. She was a sweet woman, and I know how much he loves her and how much she loved him, and that's such a beautiful story between them. The story of Kanye and his mother is beautiful. I read her book that she wrote about him. So to hear him kind of go off the ledge and start talking about his mom, and it was like, just stop. I want him to stop.
And so when he said that, right, about his cousin, the first thing that came to my mind is, if this happened to you, your mom would have gotten you some type of help for that. Like,
Right.
it just feels like, because of the way that she wrote about him in that book, it just felt like she was always very protective
over
of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like,
I think people had doubts when he said it. I think a lot of people did have doubts. Like, he's just saying this. Is he saying this? Is there a reason he's saying this? What's the agenda, Kanye? What are you trying to do with this information?
and you know, as someone who's been very vocal in the past about sexual abuse, and I write about this in my book, I was just like, you know, it's such a sensitive subject when you've gone through that type of situation. And for you to just do it in that manner, I don't know. It just was like, what's going on with this guy, man? It's like, it's so extreme. And it's like, you want to not downplay if this happened, but at the same time, because everything he's done has been so performative, it's like, go get help.
Right.
Whatever you're dealing with, stop taking it to social media, stop taking it to media,
Right.
and go get yourself some help. And this whole thing with his kids and Kim not letting him see his kids, and we're all looking at this like, of course, like, she's protecting whatever she can at this point.
Right.
Because your kids, you know, especially the older one, has access to social media and can see all of this. So as a mom, the first thing you want to do is try to shield them from as much of this chaos as they possibly can, and just look at you as a dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, go get help, bro. Stop going to the media for help, because all they're doing is exploiting you at this point.
Yes.
And using you for clickbait, and using you for some type of insanity. And guess what? People aren't buying it anymore. No one cares.
That's the thing.
No one cares.
That's the interesting point. What you just said, that's the interesting point. People don't care no more.
So even the media outlets doing it,
I know,
it's like,
the media outlets
yourself.
need to stop. But you know what I think? People don't care anymore, and it's making the statements more desperate. Because it's like, wait, they didn't care about that. They didn't respond to that. Wait, I'm going to say something even worse. I'm going to say, people don't care anymore. And I'm watching it play out. And I look, you know how I am with the studying of social media. Just, it's not working. It's a new day. And there's I think people are really mentally exhausted from just the shenanigans online.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on.
on.
So the 2025 Met Gala went down.
I'm glad you put this on there. I meant to say yesterday to you, wait, the Met Gala, we have to talk about that.
Yeah. So it went down. The theme was super fine, tailored tailoring black style, celebrated black fashion and dandyism. The event successfully raised a record of $31 million for the Metropolitan. And I also want to give a big shout out to the Shade Room. I was on their live stream talking about the Met Gala, talking about the looks and whatnot.
I love that.
So one of the biggest moments, obviously, was Rihanna announcing
her pregnancy.
Third child.
Congratulations to Rihanna. Beautiful.
She looks amazing.
I love that she's popping them out. Boop, boop, boop.
Like back to back, right?
Back to back. Let's have the kids. Right? So I love that. But I'm like, is ASAP like, he's just going to keep putting them in her, huh? He going to keep putting them in her?
Why not?
I guess.
And I saw some people
are waiting for her to come, like, when's she coming back out? I'm like, she's in this phase of her life, and it's a good age for her to get him out the way. So shout out to her.
People are waiting. The Rihanna Navy is waiting for the album, the R9.
Good for her.
But I love the fact that she's living her life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think sometimes, and you know this from experience, we give so much to this industry, and it sucks every bit out of you. And when it's done, they can care less about you. Right? So I love the fact that she's like, I am going to have my babies. I am going to live my life. I've made it to the billionaire mark. I'm going to be with the man I want to be with, whether I'm married or not, because who knows?
Because are they married? They're not married.
I don't think so. But if you're a billionaire, why do you need to get married?
I was going to say, Rihanna said, listen.
I'm going to protect these coins.
I love that. I'm all for the women who want to be married, unmarried. I'm all for... I'm married in my heart. You can have a wedding, but I'm not going to give it to the government. I'm all for it.
I love it.
Good for her.
And I love them as a couple. They're so fun.
They're cute.
Like, girl, and ASAP is just fine.
I've heard the best things about Rihanna. I've never met Rihanna, but I have heard the best things about her. I think that she's great for women.
Yeah.
I feel like from the stories that I've heard from people, she seems like...
She's super cool.
She seems like the life of the party.
I haven't seen her in years, but I have met Rihanna before.
Yeah, I've heard she's great.
I've interviewed her one time in my career when she first came out.
Right.
When she had Umbrella and she was first doing her promo rounds. That's how long I've been in the game.
Right.
But during the time that I did interview her, she was a very, very nice person. I have this picture of us. I share it every now and again. We both look like babies. And she had on this, I believe it was like a yellow shirt and this like leather outfit underneath. Anyways, it's so old school. We look totally different now. But she was always sweet and very fun to interview. And I've always, as she's gotten older in the game, I've always heard really good things about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's never changed.
That's what I'm saying. And reputation is so important, and I think I'm connected, you're connected, so I'm pretty reliant on my connections. So the things that I hear, and people sometimes wonder, like if I'm talking about a story and I have too strong of an opinion, they're like, you don't know, and it's like, no, I know, because I trust the source and the circle that I'm in. And I think it's an important one. And I want to say that because I've never met her, but a lot of people in my circumference have. And the word that has come back has always been solid about her character.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an important thing.
Yeah.
I definitely want to say that because there's other people.
Sorry. That's my next.
That's her alarm.
That's my
her
alarm
call,
for my next
conference
meeting.
call. Her conference call, y'all.
Sorry.
There's a lot of information that we both get that is very reliable. And I just want to say that.
Yeah.
And it speaks to people's character.
And A$AP Rocky, too, always had a solid character. Like, I've met him
I've never heard anything. I've never heard anything negative about the way he's done. And that's important in this business because it follows you.
Yeah, I've met him plenty of times. And he's always been super solid. I like them together. I think
they're a good couple.
And I just think he's just, Rihanna's pretty too, but he is just so chocolate and sexy and swagged out. And I love the fact that he went through his trial.
They're a great couple.
And he came out on top, and then he became one of the co-chairs at the Met Gala. Then he had his Ray-Ban deal, although
I want to see ASAP and Rihanna stay together. I want to see them stay together. I think that they're a good couple.
I
like
that for them.
Yeah.
So let's get into this part of our segment. It's called Don't Do That.
Wait, can we?
Go ahead.
Come on. I know it's because I feel like we haven't been here in a long time, and I just want to. We can just touch on it. We can just touch on it.
Go ahead.
I love Rumi. All the
Beyonce concert.
I love watching Rumi. I feel like, and I don't want to say anything about the Blue Ivy stuff last year, but remember when Blue Ivy hit the internet and people were kind of going in on her, right? Which you could see the incredible change in like her dance. It's like, oh my God. But
one thing I love about Blue Ivy is that Blue Ivy will always have the last laugh. They used to come for Blue Ivy's hair.
They did.
Now,
she's been through a lot.
Her hair is like...
She's been through a lot
you
online.
wish you had this on your head. Then they came for her on her dance skills. She popped out with boom, bam, looking like a young Beyonce in her prime.
Yeah, look at that transformation in such a short amount of time.
Blue Ivy, put the camera close.
Single.
Blue Ivy will always have the last laugh. Because she is showing out.
Good for her.
That is my son's future girlfriend. I sent him a picture and I said, let me know when you want me to connect.
You're going to hook it up? I've seen such a transformation of her. But, to me now, it's kind of stiff. So to see Rumi, I love, because she'll get up there and she's off script. Rumi is off script. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see Beyonce, everything is perfect. Now they got Blue Ivy trained perfectly, and everything is perfect. And here comes Rumi, like, so I've been, like, sending to my girlfriend, like, I keep saying, I'm like, this is amazing. Because it's like they can't control her. She's so excited to be on the stage. Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting one. I was like, oh, my God, we got to talk about Rumi.
But I love the fact that in front of our eyes, Beyonce is ushering in her legacy.
Yes.
And I think that is just so beautiful for brown and black people to see.
Right. And for a mom. And and you know what else? I want to read her mom's book.
Yeah.
I want to read that book.
Yeah.
It's called Matriarch, right?
Yeah. But it's just so beautiful to see, like, the generations and, like, what you can build.
Because it's kind of like her mom kind of starts it, and she's still here. So the wealth of information that she would share in that book, I'm interested in reading, right? Like, I feel like, and I'm not a super fan of her and her mom like that, but I like the generational story that they have.
Yeah, I like the success.
I think it's and also a lot of people write a lot of books, and I'm like, I don't want to read a book from that person. They don't have enough information for me. They don't have enough wealth of like knowledge and life experience. And I feel like someone like a Tina Knowles, you're like, wait a minute, she probably has a lot to offer that you haven't heard.
Yeah.
So I want to get her book.
Yeah, but think of just being an entrepreneur herself.
Yes.
Right? And stylist, entrepreneur, building that into her daughters, and then they go out on their own and create this entrepreneur life for themselves. Then they have their children.
And that's what I think. I think it's like this sort of like, especially for moms and women, I feel like that is very important to share that information.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People want to know, like, how do you build successful children?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's what we all strive for, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a lesson for us today.
Yep. So let's get into Don't Do That.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
During a recent episode of his podcast, The Truth After Dark, former NBA star Paul Pierce discussed why black NBA players choose to date white women. He stated, I honestly think that maybe they appreciate more and they apologize more, adding that white women don't mind being held accountable.
Not they apologize more.
Yeah, girl. He said, no, of course, these remarks have sparked significant backlash on social media, with many accusing Paul Pierce of perpetrating harmful stereotypes about black women being difficult or ungrateful.
Did he do it on purpose? Are you trying to go viral, sir? You know what type of backlash you're going to get for saying something like that. That's crazy. Why are you talking like that? What's your point?
When black men say this, And you could put the camera. Yes, thank you. When black men say things like this, says the things that Paul Pierce has said, you know, take your ass to those white women. They can have you.
You know,
go on right on over there. But when they Shannon Sharp your ass,
right,
or Diddy your ass,
right,
or anything in between,
right,
don't coming back over here asking for a black woman to help you. When they Jonathan Major your ass, don't come over here looking for your Megan Good. Stay your ass over there.
Stay on that side. That's what we should call this "Don't Do That" segment. Stay on that side. I think that's a general feeling. You know, it never bothers me. I'm kind of like, oh, you like that? Well, go do that. Go do that.
Go do that.
I think that's my new statement. Go do that.
And have fun.
Right.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Since you got so much to say.
Yeah, go do that.
Go do that.
Yeah, we're good on him.
Yeah. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right. This is our Girl Talk segment. This is our segment where you guys get to write in to me and Kim.
Yes.
And we will give you advice if you need it. We are two seasoned women who have lived through it all.
You know, I know it took me a while to post the last advice because it was so personal. So I'm going to try to not be as personal, but watch me be personal. Go ahead.
Okay. So, hey, TT and Kim, I need your advice. Mother's Day is approaching.
Oh.
And I need to know if it's appropriate for your fiance to buy the mother of his two oldest children a Mother's Day gift. I'm currently going through this situation. This is my first Mother's Day, and I'll be celebrating for the first time.
Oh, my God.
Newly engaged to my fiance. My fiance has two oldest kids, 6 and 10.
Yes.
And he said that he will be buying her Mother's Day gift. It's a tradition that he's been doing before we got engaged. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to feel about this. Part of me is a little bit jealous since this is my first Mother's Day.
That's very self-aware of her.
But
that
part
is very
of me feels like, okay, maybe this is something that he likes to do. So I need your advice.
I said I didn't want to be personal, but I have experience in this. I have to be personal with this situation with Mother's Day. For one, let me say this. I have had men that I have dated that have treated me bad on Mother's Day. Like, almost on some, like, you're not my mother. Why do I need to buy you anything? And I'm like, that's weird. I'm not saying they said that. I'm just saying that was the energy and the feeling behind it. And I have had Mother's Days where, you know, the father of my children, or fathers, because, you know, I got double baby daddy. I got 2 baby daddies.
I never knew that, by the way.
You never knew that?
No.
Oh, yeah. We don't. Women, don't be embarrassed out there. I'm still getting through this. This is trauma. This is trauma. Yes, I have 2 baby daddies. So I've had situations where, when it's cordial, they have bought me something for Mother's Day, not romantic. So my first thing is, and maybe I revisit the one about when you're romantic with somebody and you're a mother, but you're not their mother, or you're not the mother of their children. Do you feel like they should buy you something? Yes, I do. We'll get back to that. However, in her situation, right, you're in love with someone, but they want to show appreciation to another woman who is raising their kids. And with me, it's kids above everything. And the way that you make that mom feel, right, I think is important because it reflects on the children. So you kind of got to pull back. My advice would be to, listen, I think it was very self-aware for her to say that she was jealous, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's natural. It's a natural emotion. But you want a healthy relationship between 2 parents despite everything. And a gift is just a gift. Now, is he buying her lingerie? Now, if he's buying her lingerie, I get it. Right? But if he's buying her flowers, a nice gift, maybe a household item for Mother's Day, there are gifts that you can give the mother of your children that aren't romantic, just to show appreciation for them being a very important mother in your life. She is raising your kids. So that's how I feel about that. But can I add one little thing?
Yeah, of course.
So the romantic situation that 2 people have, right, that maybe has nothing to do with their relationship, well, maybe Mother's Day has nothing to do with their relationship, I would say that person should show some sort of gratitude to the mother. If a man who loves his woman, right, whether she's the mother of his kids or not, if she is a mother, should feel like he wants to give her something because it's a day for mothers to be celebrated. Mm-hmm. So I think that when you're in a relationship, you should celebrate the mothers, right? It's kind of like, I want people to kind of look at it like, on Mother's Day, you would give your aunt flowers too, right?
Yeah.
She ain't your mother, and she's also not the mother of your children, but it's Mother's Day, so you would celebrate your aunt as well, or your good friend who's another mother. You're going to say Happy Mother's Day. So I think the relationship dynamic always complicates that. Mother's Day ain't a romantic holiday.
Yeah.
If it was Valentine's Day and he was giving her something for Valentine's Day, then that'll be like, whoa, you can't just give your baby mother something for Valentine's Day, but it's Mother's Day.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if it is respectful and non-romantic and it's traditionally something he has done,
yes,
then I would definitely be okay with it. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember before, I got married and my son's father and I were, not together. I don't recall him getting me a Mother's Day gift, mm-hmm. but I also think he did it out of respect for the relationship that he was in at the time. And I feel like she felt a way if he was to get me something. You know what I mean? So he never bought me anything on behalf of my son. Our son will always make little cards for me in school and stuff like that. But I also think the woman in their lives sometimes play that role on whether or not that relationship is nourished between two co-parents, right? Because sometimes the women who play the role in the man's life can be a significant game changer in how two people co-parent.
Yes.
So if you're full of jealousy and envy and negativity, then you bring that into a co-parenting relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you tear that co-parenting relationship apart.
That's on point. That's
and
big.
And I've seen that happen so many times.
That's big.
Where women come into these men's lives, and sometimes the co-parenting relationships are great. And because it's so great, the women that are now engaged in this person become so jealous and hateful that they'd be like, no, don't do a Mother's Day gift. No, don't do that. That's just showing that there's something there. And it could be absolutely nothing. I just like, she's a great mother to my kid. Here's a gift card to go eat at, Olive Garden, or here's
don't give me no Olive Garden. Don't give me no Olive Garden.
Here's a couple of movie gift certificates. I don't know, as long as it's non-romantic and she don't take it that way. It don't gotta
be romantic, but don't give me no Olive Garden.
I'm just saying, Kim. But you understand?
Well,
don't be that girl. Don't be that girl is what I'm saying. Don't be the girl that's full of jealousy and envy because he has a great relationship with the mother of his children, and now you're jealous. So you don't want him to continue a tradition that he's already done.
I know this is like, we're kind of wrapping up. We don't have a lot of time, but I think sorry guys, had to scratch my head. I think that this is a conversation that could go on a long time with us. I think we're both coming from places of experience when you're in a relationship, in a co-parenting relationship, and there's somebody else, right? And listen, I have been in relationships where I've dated people who have baby mothers or ex-wives, and it's you get, the more experience you have, you get used to it, right? You understand how important a relationship is between two people who are co-parenting, and you have to be healthy, and there needs to be trust established in your relationship. So I don't really do the jealousy thing, right? And I think that a very unhealthy conversation or between a very unhealthy relationship between two co-parents can really damage the kids. And as the significant other, the romantic partner of someone who is, has a healthy co-parenting relationship, you should feel like that person's children are a priority to you as well. So if you know that the woman of your significant other's, children, right? If like you gotta accept certain things in that situation. Like you have to accept her, and maybe y'all don't have to have a relationship talking. And I know, in addition to myself, and I just know a lot of people who are in these situations, and it's unhealthy. Like I'm gonna always, if I was dealing with someone who had, kids with someone else, I'm going to always give the utmost respect to that relationship, because if I'm with you, I trust you that that's over if you say it's over, right? But I don't have nothing to do with that. That's your relationship about your kid.
Yeah.
And that's a priority for you. It should be.
And it's something beautiful about a man who can prioritize his current relationship while still maintaining
a good relationship with his ex.
With his ex, because what you don't want is a man who cannot maintain a good relationship with his ex. Whether, I don't know, but at some point it has to come to where it's like, don't be that woman. Don't be that person that creates animosity where it doesn't need to be. Right? Because, and I'm glad she said that she's a bit jealous. And sometimes, it can be an overwhelming thing to be like, dang, like, it's something there,
But if I'm a mother, if I'm a mother, then I want to give too. Don't just give your baby mother something and then don't give me something. So that's where the men kind of have to figure it out, right? Like, I'm giving her some flowers, I'm giving her this for Mother's Day, but like, you ain't got to spend Mother's Day with her now. Like now,
no. I don't think she was saying that in an email.
I'm just putting it out there for the conversation, right? Like, you be respectful. Maybe you help your kid buy something for their mother. That's all good. I ain't got to go to dinner now. Now, don't take it too far. That's the other thing, because I'm on the other side too. Don't take it too far now. Now y'all want to go to dinner together and do all that. Relax. Now when you're in a relationship, unless you can bring them all together, right?
We all have a family Mother's Day.
Unless you can bring it all together. But, I know we don't have a lot of time and we could talk about this forever. I know I can, because these are dynamics that I've dealt with. And ultimately, it does affect the kids. It absolutely does affect the kids.
And you want everyone to have a healthy relationship, because God forbid, you're the fiance, right? God forbid, things don't work out between you two, and you will want the same level of respect that he shows to his ex. You will want that in return. Right? So if he's able to show you the level of respect that you deserve while maintaining a good, healthy co-parenting relationship with his ex, that's a win-win for the whole entire family. That's a win-win for you. That's a win-win for him. Because the less stress he has with his baby mama, the less stress you gonna have in your relationship. Okay? All right. And that's it.
And I know we have like less than a minute left. So I want to tell everybody, make sure, you subscribe to @KimOsorio Media. On my YouTube, like, comment, do all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram @KimOsorio1.
And you can follow me, TT Torrez, 3 T's, ORREZ. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you follow us on all socials. And thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in.
That's right. Like, subscribe.
We got to get here more, because I just feel like we went through so much, but not enough, because I got a lot of things that I feel like we need to talk about. And we didn't have, we'll be back, guys, next week, so we can kind of keep having these conversations. Anyways, Trigger Warning Podcast, TT Torrez.
Bye, guys.
See you guys next time.